All right. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Amanda Rainey, and I'm the Chief Advancement Officer for Greater Good Charities. In this season of thanks, we are so honored to be able to give you a behind-the-scenes perspective of how your support has uplifted the people and pets of Ukraine since the Russian invasion. Your generosity has helped save lives, and this work is only possible because of you. Thank you. We have several key supporters joining us today, and I know many of you are actually watching this after the session. With Ukraine still being an active war zone, it's imperative for us to consider the safety of our staff and partners, and we have to host this session before sundown in Ukraine. Because that's a 7-hour time difference to the East Coast and a 10-hour time difference to the West Coast, we appreciate the efforts that everyone has made to be with us here today. And we thank you in advance and your patience, just in case we experience any connectivity issues. Our team is casting from an area of Ukraine that's been relatively safe for the past few weeks, but it's an active war zone and we can never be 100% certain. So thank you in advance. And now I'd like to start us off by introducing Boris Pomeroy, our Executive Vice President for Fundraising and Marketing in Europe. Take it away, Boris.
Hey, everyone. Just checking you can all hear me okay? All good, Amanda? Just give me a thumbs up because I can see. Perfect. So as Amanda said, we are broadcasting live from Ukraine. We're in the Kyiv region. I can't tell you exactly where we are for operational safety reasons, but we're here with some of our amazing partners who I will introduce you to shortly, and to ensure you've got light and you can see us and hear us okay, we are sitting in one of their warehouses right now. So I'm going to flip my camera around and introduce you to our panel. There we go. Look at this wonderful lot here. I hope you can all see them. So we have we've got Galina here from United for Animals. You give us a little wave, Galina, so I know who you are. There we go. And then in the middle we have Martina, who leads our field op team here in Europe. And next to her we have the handsome sight of Nelson, who leads field ops globally, and we will be coming to him very, very soon. But I am going to open up, if I may, with Martina. So Martina, could you tell us and our amazing audience back there in the States who are all just waking up a little bit more about the history of Greater Good Charities in Ukraine?
So after full-scale invasion, Greater Good Charities supported not only refugees, but also internally displaced people in Ukraine, as well as people still living in contested areas. We distributed over 16,000 relief boxes in the freshly liberated areas. We were often the first organization on the ground. Thanks to our connections, we were able to reach these areas very quickly. I'm very proud of this response. Totally, we provided over 11 million meals, thanks to support of our amazing partners, food banks, and also our team was on the ground. So that's our humanitarian response. We distributed over 40,000 blankets as part of our winter relief program. And our another big project is animal welfare. Galina is one of the coordinators from United for Animals. This amazing group has around 23 coordinators in major cities of Ukraine. Each coordinator is supporting 20 to 30 volunteers. Each volunteer is feeding a lot of stray animals, as well as they are supporting shelters. We distributed in total over 32 million pet meals. Currently, we are working on response, and we are providing dog houses for dogs living on the streets as well. Yeah, here you can see one of them, as well as supporting shelters to adapt to very cold winter conditions. Yeah, it's very cold here. Yes, so that's my answer.
Perfect. Before I hand over to Galina, there's just a couple of things I wanted to ask. I think all of the people on the call, and certainly I'll always remember the dreadful dam collapse in the summer. So I was wondering whether you and Nelson, if you want to join in too, because I know you were around. Just want to talk a little bit about our response to that and the impact that we've been able to have because of our partners and also because of our amazing donors.
So we've been working in this region, in Mykolaiv region before, and thanks to our contacts, we also already had supplies in warehouses in Mykolaiv, so we were able to respond in 24 hours. We distributed food boxes and blankets to the temporary shelters where rescued people were rescued and internally displaced people found shelter. So yeah, we were very quick, and that's our strength as well. We supported United for Animals, who rescued many pets. They are currently in Galina's shelter here. Many of them were adopted, found happy families. So that's great. We partnered with British Expedition Aid and Rescue. Thanks to their support, they implemented water project. We established 56 water tanks, and thanks to this support, around 15,000 people were able to have access to clean drinking water. And on top of that, we also distributed around 8,000 hygiene kits of some cleaning products.
And just one more for you before I give you a break. But we were talking in the van earlier, and I asked you to tell me about a story that's kind of really stayed with you since you've been working here in Ukraine. And you told me a beautiful story about a beekeeper. So I was just wondering whether you could tell that story again.
Yeah, there's many stories I will always remember, but one story. So as you know, Mykolaiv region, some of the villages in Mykolaiv region were occupied for several months, and after the occupation, we visited one of them, and we distributed our food boxes. We met Sergey, who was one of the recipients, and that was our immediate response. And after, we also distribute pet food in this region regularly. And after a few months, we started our bee project, and Sergey was one of beekeepers. I remember we drove with him and he needed to get out of the van a bit earlier. He was very emotional. He went to see his beehives. Obviously, all of them were destroyed, and yeah, it was very emotional. But a few months later, we were able to support him, and last June, it was June, right, Nelson? I think June or July.
Yeah.
He received some beehives from us earlier on this year, and when we met him in July, he handed us his honey, and yeah, that was very very great experience for us to see how we went from disaster response to more sustainable projects, and to hear his story and see how he can now provide for his family, as previously he was selling the honey, and now he can continue his work.
Thank you. I love the story. I think often we think about farmers having these large-scale industrialized farms, but often in Ukraine, what we're talking about are effectively small holdings, aren't they? I think you said that you maybe had 10 hives, was it? 20 hives, and the selling of the honey supported his wife and his children as well as himself. So I really love the story, and really shows how donors' money is being put to use for a real sustainable long-term benefit for the Ukrainian community.
And just driving here yesterday, I mean, how many houses did we pass that had active hives?
Yeah, loads, right?
The bee thing is a big thing in this region. It's ginormous. So yeah.
And we have had the most wonderful day here with Galina, mainly focused on some pet stuff today. We are going to talk about some humanitarian things with Nelson in a few minutes. But Galina, could you tell us a little bit, first of all, about United for Animals, and then we'll go on and talk about today.
Firstly, I wanted to talk about. I wanted to say thank you for Greater Good Charities for this day, for this wonderful day. I can show you our region. I can show our a location where we can help all animals, where we can help the keepers with food, with food for animals. It's a great date. Thank you a lot. I want to say that thanks for your support, of Greater Good Charities. We can help every month only in Kyiv region more than 3,000 animals. More than 300 keepers of animals take care, it can take the food. And if we talk about all Ukraine, all our region, it's more than 10,000 homeless animals and 800 guardians of these animals can take the food for Greater Good Charities.
Perfect, thank you. And I should say thank you to you because it's Galina's warehouse that we're sitting in right now, and it's cold in here, but outside it's like 25 Fahrenheit. It's like -4 in centigrade in English terms. I think that's around 25 Fahrenheit for the Americans on the call. So huge thank you for that. Could you just tell us that we've had, like I say, we've had a brilliant day. So could you tell us a little bit about some of the things we've seen today?
Okay, today we see a lot of interesting local locations, but firstly, I adore to present you our important social project. You can see today our young volunteers. It's the project of young people, of school children, and you can see today also the keepers, which are usual people who take care of animals. So in all Kyiv region, we work harder with the three social projects. It's temporary shelters, as you can see. We visit our shelter today, where we try to socialize animals as well for the future families. Next one, it's a lesson of kindness and humanity. We try to explain school children how important to take care of animals, that it's big work and hard work to take care of them. Every time when we work in some social project, we need to support with food, with people, and now we have it and we can realize it. So today you can see it.
Perfect, thank you. Right, I'm going to come across to Mr. Nelson Miller for a little bit.
What is that, young man?
So tomorrow we are off to a different area. Again, sorry, I'm not allowed to tell you where for security reasons. And we are going to start the distribution of our winter relief kits. So whilst Nelson gets the kit ready, I'll just tell you. So we've got about 3,000 of these boxes to give out. As I said already, at least twice, it is freezing here and it's going to get colder. On top of that, a lot of the there's a real intensification of bombing at the moment right across Ukraine, and so there are families really struggling. And so the winter relief kits for those families and individuals who are struggling the most. In like a game show style here, Nelson doesn't know what's in the box, so it's going to be like him unwrapping it for the first time.
You know,
And so we're going to show, what's that?
you know what's in the
I may know what's in the box, but I'm going to let you surprise. So these will be going out to individuals and families in need starting from tomorrow. And we start with
We have a blanket for us.
a nice warm blanket here.
Look at that, yeah.
Perfect.
There you go.
Yeah, we're going to give this to Martina, who's been a little chilly over there.
Okay, next bag, get a couple pair of socks.
And we will scale, so the number of socks we will scale up and down according to the size of the families. Some nice beanies.
Yep, very nice.
Right, we trusted Nelson with a knife.
Not my knife.
While he's opening that, by the way, over here we've got two more of the United for Animals team. One of them on her phone, but she's social media, so she's allowed.
So Ukraine alive with this.
Yeah, so these boxes have been prepared for us by Ukraine Alive, and they'll be the people we're with tomorrow. Another one of our local partners here in Ukraine.
Okay, Boris, this might take a while, and I don't know that everybody's gonna be interested in going item.
Go,
by
no, you
item.
just show me a few things and then we'll go.
I mean, it's a variety of stuff. Quite a variety from staples. It looks like a bunch of goodies.
Yeah. So what we try to do here is we try to mix up some staples like oil and flour, but
Yep.
also recognizing we're coming up to Christmas. We've got things like sweets in the bag,
Pasta.
honey, of course.
Yeah, thank you, Martina.
Right. So as you can see, what we've got in there is enough for multiple meals, as well as some long-term things for warmth through the winter. So we're really trying to look after the people who need it the most. With that, I am going to flip the camera back around to my face, so apologies. And I'm going to ask Amanda if she has any questions she wants to ask us, or indeed whether our audience have any.
So for anyone in the audience, you can raise your hand. It should be in the upper right-hand corner of your screen to let us know you have a question, or of course, you can put your question in the chat box. That would be perfect. But question for you and the team on the ground, Boris. I'd be interested in hearing a little bit more about how the Russian invasion has really, on a day-to-day basis, shifted everyone's daily lives. What are some of the most pressing challenges that you're experiencing now that you never would have considered previously?
So I will ask that question to Galina in a second. What I will say is we spent some time this morning speaking to some of the amazing volunteers here who spend their time feeding stray and abandoned animals. And one of the women there showed us her old apartment that had been bombed and is still in tatters, and she's still living in temporary accommodation because she can't actually go back into it. And so it gives you a really obvious kind of starting point for how real the conflict is for so many people here still. But with that, I will flip over to Galina, who's now got a beanie on. And I will ask her. So Galina, the question was, in what kind of ways has the Russian aggression towards Ukraine and the ongoing conflict, in what ways has it changed your day-to-day lives?
The Russian attack changed my life before and after, not only my life of all our people in a different region, Odessa, Zaporizhzhia, Mykolaiv, Kiev region. Our life never be the same as before. The life of animals change the same. We have in different region, we had difficult time, and a lot of region right now have a difficult time. All we can do as a region, as a coordinator of region, where we right now have so normal life. We still have a war, we understand it, but the region like Mykolaiv, like Kherson, like Zaporizhzhia, like Dnipropetrovsk, it's our pain, and all we can do is stay here and try to help people and animals. Animals wait for our help. Right now in the winter, it's very difficult time for people, for warriors, for animals, and it's very important to help right now that region that wait for this help. What life change and never be the same before.
You told us earlier your own story of when the Russian troops came into your area. Without putting you on the spot, I was wondering whether you might be able to just tell that story again to the people we've got on the call.
Okay, I will remember this day. I hope I can. Some days I can tell it to my son without stress, without pain. Like right now, we sit in my garden with my family. We read the news that the war is begin, and I don't believe I said, no, it's only for 1 to 2 days. I don't believe that now in this time we have the war. And after a few minutes, I heard the strange sounds, and I turned on camera on my phone. I don't know why, but it's instinct to check what's happened. And we saw the tents straight by my house, more than 60 tanks with the Russian symbolic, with Russian signs. And we can see the soldiers. They can see us and we can see them. And it was very, very hot. In that moment, I understood that the war is in my house, not in my country, is in my house.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing it again. And I know Martina and Nelson were joining me in thanking you and your colleagues, but also just being astounded by the courage you show every single day to serve both people and pets in and around your local community. You know, I'm very conscious that we're visitors here. This is your home, and everything you're doing for your community and your country, I feel really honoured to have met you. So thank you. So back to you, Amanda. Any more questions coming from over there?
Can you share with us a little bit about the most pressing need right now in Ukraine when it comes to pets and community animals?
Yeah, I mean, I'll share this one. Just give Galina a little break, but I know I keep saying it. It's cold. It's really cold, and as it gets colder, we need more things we need more protection in terms of from the cold. So the shelters that we showed you earlier, and I'll pan the camera back to you in a second. And we need food. So people need more energy in them. People need, and pets need, safe places and warm places to stay. And as you can see, let me flip the camera back. You can see all of the food behind our esteemed panel there. Here's the shelter, which also will come with bedding and etc. So it'll be a nice cozy place for the pets. You won't be able to see all of this, but I'll just briefly tell you there's more food here. And then if you look down here, it's going to get dark, but I will take you a little way and we'll see what happens. You'll see that there are rooms and rooms of food through this dark bit here and down there as well. So yeah, food and warmth and shelter are the answers right now. Come the spring, those needs may change, but right now that's everything we're looking for.
Yeah, I think it's worth to mention that this food is not gonna stay here for a very long time because the request United for Animals is receiving, the number of requests is overwhelming, and we need to prioritize some groups and some volunteers, and we need to say no to people because we have limited resources, right? So yeah, how long does the food normally stay here?
1 week for 1 truck. It's amazing. When I make the documents, firstly, I can believe that we have so many animals because during 1 month we deliver, and after I check, yes, the balance of the food, 0, 0, 0 cat food, 0 dog food. So today we have the truck, and I think that for the next Wednesday or Thursday it will be empty.
And I should just give a massive shout out to some of our partners, and in particular in this one, Whitebridge, who have delivered an awful lot of food into Ukraine, and I can see some of it sitting behind me now. Yeah, so hopefully that answers that question, Amanda. Keep firing them at me.
Absolutely. I want to be conscious of everyone else's time. So if you do have a question, please feel free to raise your hand or put your question in the chat box and I'll shout it out for you. Else, I'll give one more question. How can our community of supporters start to think about the long-term sustainability for support in Ukraine beyond the ongoing feeding, which of pets, for example, which we know is a constant need, how do we help and start that conversation about long-term sustainability?
It's a really good question, and it's one I've been thinking about most of today as I've been going around when the immediate need is so obvious and so pressing, and I would put it in that context that right now it's about getting through the winter for people. But I know we've got more coming through in the spring, so I'm going to ask Martina whether she'll give us a few words on that.
Yeah, I think we are still responding to a disaster, especially that there's a huge food insecurity. We need to remember that east and south of Ukraine is still fully mined, and farmers cannot produce food for themselves because it threatens their lives. So the food insecurity, before we start speaking about sustainable solutions, the fields need to be demined for farmers to go out and provide for themselves and for their families. And regarding animal welfare, I believe that everyone in Ukraine is trying to get there. And one of the solutions is spay and neuter. And I forgot to mention before, but we successfully conducted two clinics in the Lviv region, and we spayed over 1,400 animals in total, which really goes well with our feeding program and supporting shelters, reducing the population of animals. That's the way to go.
Perfect. So making sure we're looking after animals, making sure we're controlling population around strays and abandoned animals, and really critically starting to address some of the food insecurity issues. Right, they seem to be the priorities going forwards, and definitely things that we'll be looking at tackling again come the spring once we've got through the next few months.
Thank you. Here's a question from our audience. Have donations decreased or have they remained robust?
That's a really good question. I should bounce it back to you as the Chief Philanthropy Officer, but I'll have a word at answering. It's difficult, and you probably tell from my British accent, I'm from a long way from you guys, but I know it's very similar. Stories move on fast, and the news moves on fast, and when the news moves, then donations tend to slow down a little bit, and it's no different here in Ukraine. Whilst the conflict continues, and as I said, we've actually seen an intensification around bombing and air raids in the last few weeks. The news agenda has moved on to other tragedies, and therefore the public's attention shifts with that. So there is definitely a pressure on funding, not just for Greater Good, although obviously that's our focus for this evening, but obviously for all of our community partners here in Ukraine. So there is a desperate need for support here, and continued support, and for us to continue to stand alongside these incredibly brave and community-minded people that we have the privilege to spend time with over the next few days.
Beautifully stated, Boris. Absolutely. And thank you for the question. We are so thankful for the support that has come in from the folks watching and live with us now, as well as those who I know are watching this broadcast after from a recording. We really look to you to continue to raise awareness about the ongoing continuous need to help people and pets within Ukraine, help lift them up, help give them the supplies and support they need right now, but also helping prepare them for their futures. I've dropped a few links in the chat here. These are a few open fundraising campaigns that we have. They align with some of the elements we've discussed already. Help keeping Ukrainian shelter pets warm, feeding pets in Ukraine, and winter relief kits for families in Ukraine. If you are so inclined, we'd love for you to share those links with others in your network. Keep that communication alive and active so that folks can still understand the need here. I also am going to put into the chat here a link for a Facebook Live event that the same team will be hosting tomorrow It'll be a shorter format, but another opportunity to continue to spread the word and raise awareness about the amazing efforts that have taken place so far and how folks can continue to be engaged in this amazing cause and need. With that, I know everyone has a tight schedule and we need to get our team on the ground back somewhere safe and warm. And so if there are any other questions, please let us know now, or else we will send you on your way with our largest thanks. All right, Martina, we have a wonderful thank you from one of our guests, Julie Ryan Johnson. So big shout out for you.
But you made us smile under that blanket. Amazing work. Can we just say from here a massive thank you to everyone who's joined from the States this evening, this morning, your time. It really does mean the world to us to know that you're interested in the work that our brilliant partners are doing. And I know it's Thanksgiving week, so can we also wish you all the happiest of happy holidays over there. So have the most wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, stay warm, and thank you for your support. Bye.